All right, everyone. Welcome to our Team Balance call this evening, and we maybe have some guests hopping on with us this evening. We have our Sean Week challengers in here as well who've been invited to the call, and so I wanted to make sure that, we talked about something, we're going to talk about something that is pertinent to us as coaches, but also pertinent to everybody that we're trying to reach as coaches and challengers, and that is transformation. It just time and time again is, we're hearing from coaches on the National Wake Up Call and, really any kind of recording or training. I probably am choppy. Let me know. Brian, can you check the Wi-Fi hub and see how strong it looks? No, not that one. The one next to you. Push the button on the top. How many bars do I got? One. Try and bring it closer. All right, we're going to try and fix this a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start letting you guys go and talk about some of the transformations that you've seen personally, whether it's internal, in your mental shift.
I got 3.
And then also physical as well, because, we all kind of hopefully are going through a little bit of a physical transformation, some people more than others. And I want to just, want to share that, because as our team gets bigger and we're all running challenges separately, coming together as a group like this makes it's just really incredibly fun to see everybody here in the same unit and, going after the same thing. And for this week, it's tackling Sean Week. And who's scared? I'm scared.
I'm a little scared.
But I'm excited too, because Sean T is he's one of those incredible motivating coaches, and I can't wait to hear what he has to say. And I think it's really going to roll into, hi Krista, welcome. I think what Sean has to say is really going to get people pumped up and ready for the Chris Downing Shift Shop program that's getting ready to launch in July. So I do want to remind everybody that we do have the summer sale is going on, and I just got my box of stuff today. So I got a new size shirt and I got size sweatpants, and they're great prices right now. So those summer sale programs are available to everybody, including people who are signed up with the free trial. I believe they also get that 10% off of the sale. So that 10% would basically cover their shipping mostly. But it's a great time to pick up some products, and we have the Focused Energy that's on sale and a few of the P90X programs. I think Turbo sold out, but there's some really great deals in there. So check that out if you haven't yet. Now, they don't put Shakeology or things like that on sale, but it's still good. Now, I also want to congratulate Becky as being one of our only 2 people on all of Team Phoenix who were met all the requirements. We did a training back in March, a Dash to Diamond training, and there were several requirements that had to be met in March, April, and May. And Becky and only one other Team Phoenix person on all of Team Phoenix met all those requirements. There were a few others of us who were close, but it's tough for a reason. But she walked away with an incredible, cash pot, basically. Did you get your payout yet?
Yeah, I think Friday, actually. So.
Do you know how much it was? What was your total payout?
$180.
What was that?
$180.
$680. Okay, so for basically, that's an extra like $100 a week for 6 weeks. It's incredible. Like, everybody who went into the training put in $20. So take $1,200 and divide by 20, and that's how many people who potentially could have won a portion of that pot. So, for Becky to stick it out and do it like that, it's so exciting. So I wanted to congratulate her on that, and then also to just really let everybody know that there are trainings like that for us, on a pretty regular basis. Like Megan sets those up and really puts us in a place where if you want to really push yourself and make some things happen for yourself financially, for building your business, for reaching more people, then I would always suggest taking advantage of those. So, and that's always a good time because we usually put together a message thread and kind of encourage each other. So I wanted to get back to talking about transformations. So we talked about there's, every coach that gets on the National Wake Up Call will hammer it home that their transformation is really the main selling point of being able to, reach people on a regular basis and get people started with a challenge pack on a regular basis. Okay. Because we know that people can work through the fitness programs, and Krista has had some great results with just working through some of those fitness programs, but then adding that Shakeology on top found some really great, added benefits. So, Krista, would you mind maybe speaking to some of your journey and just kind of, because you're new to so many of us, we'd love to hear more about your transformation.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. It started, my sister-in-law started posting progress pictures of her and what she's accomplished. And the four of us. And so she started posting these pictures, and I was like, nope, I'm not going to be the fat girl on the beach. And so just reached out and started joining just the smaller challenge groups, the 5-day groups. I didn't do the eating plan because I was doing the 21-day fix is where I started. So I stayed with that, but it was accountability. And so I did that for, 3 months, and then finally added the Shakeology. And it was interesting how weight that I had been stuck like in a plateau, the weight just started coming off. So it's been pretty cool. I've just recently upped my intake on food because I'm doubling down. I do a workout in the morning and a workout at night. And I've set some pretty hefty goals for myself to be at Summit next year and compete. I want to actually do a bikini competition by my 50th birthday. So one workout a day isn't enough for me right now. And I'm pretty excited about it and the changes that I'm seeing in my body. So I just got to remember to stay off the scale because the scale's not my friend.
I second that. Scale's not a friend sometimes.
So right. Molly, I would love for you to go next. I want to hear about where you've been. Has it been a year that you've been signed up right now?
Yep. My year mark, a year mark when I started doing the 5 days with Ashley was May 1st. So pretty much my story began May 1st, what year are we in now? A year ago. So when I first started this, I was kind of at a pretty low point in my life. I had gained back all of the weight that I lost previously when I did Weight Watchers. I lost like 95 pounds when I did Weight Watchers. And I gained it all back pretty much. Life happens, men happen, depression happens, all of that great stuff happens. Well, not great stuff, I would say, but and Ashley reached out to me and said, oh, do you want to do a 5-day? And I, at that point, hadn't been doing like any exercising. And in the past, I was doing triathlons and stuff. So I was capable of doing it. I just had lost the ambition for it. So I did the 5-day with Ashley and was very successful with it. I think I lost 7 pounds in the first week. And from there, I just kind of kept on doing it. I joined up and did the Shakeology and was doing 21-day fix. I've done a lot of the programs. I've done 21-day fix, 21-day fix extreme, Core de Force. I really like Core de Force. I've been trying to get myself to do other things because I just like the workout so much. And I do a lot of the weights as well. But the main thing is like accountability is a huge thing. And believing in yourself. I mean, I think a while ago I lost that in myself. And I think that was the problem. Like, you have to take care of yourself. You know, I've gone through a lot in the past year, I would say. Like, I don't even think I've ever shared this with any of you guys, but a year ago, I've always had eczema, like on my knees and elbows. But what happened was I think from my weight being so high, I started off a year ago, I weighed 272, and now I'm around like 210, I think. I'm getting there. It's up and down all over the place. You know, the main thing is I developed psoriasis on both sides of my legs, and it was extremely red, very painful. And I realized I had to do something about it. The doctors never said anything to me that it could have anything to do with my weight. I kind of researched stuff, but I can say now, it's pretty much gone. Like, I don't have it on my legs anymore. I think because I'm active, I'm taking care of myself. You know, the weight is a big part of it too, but I think when the stress, you don't have as much stress. It's just crazy. And as for transformation, like for me, my body's gone through a lot of changes. You know, I was funny. I love to wear shorts now. I never used to wear shorts. So, you know, it's hard sometimes, but you know, you guys keep me going with it. And, I hope to lose 100 pounds someday. So I have a little bit to go, but you know, summer's here, and, you know, and I believe that it will happen at some point.
Absolutely. It's awesome. Those non-scale victories are so important to stay focused on, because we all know that scale can go, it literally, even from a physiological standpoint, and somebody who, you know, that is kind of, you know, watching people's weight go up and down with my wrestlers and my athletes is something that I'm trained to know that, like, okay, people have the capability of dropping like a large amount of weight in a short period of time just by emptying their gastric system and the water shifts and all of that. And so it really is such more of a long-term transformation in terms of what your body feels like, where, you know, I had one challenger my last 5 day. I actually had two that were incredible. I had one woman lose 10 pounds in 4 days. Okay. So we know that's a big shift in different things that are going on in her system, but it was like we did more of a sugar-free focus. And I do have, like, I usually have a few people have really great transformations when we do that sugar-free shift focus. And then I have posted about my friend Serena, about her just huge transformation. I mean, like, literally the visual on that. And she was like, she had sent me the photos, and she was like, I tried to look at them side by side, or, you know, I couldn't figure out how to do that. And when I put them together for her and sent her that collage, it blew the lid off of her belief in that she could really take and transform herself. And she's done this before. She had a 40-pound shift, and then one of her kids got sick and is on homebound. And, you know, she kind of forgot about herself again, or just wasn't putting it as priority. She had gone back to drinking soda, and they were stopping at fast food a lot again because they were in between doctor's appointments. But, you know, she has been through things that have plagued her family for generations, in terms of just like stuff that mentally a lot of people I don't think would be able to dig themselves out of. And she, like, to hear stories like that that's a transformation. Like, for, you know, she's the weight part of it for her is probably kind of the last thing that she's getting to, but there's so many other things that digging into some of this, what I'm eating, why I'm eating it, when I'm eating it, is really helping her to identify some of the things in her past that are still that she's still in that negative cycle from. Like, Molly, did you see that, like, were there any like big bright lights flashing at you, like, you know, as you've been through this big transformation in terms of, oh wow, when I X, Y, and Z, like, I totally, you know, go to X, you know, certain foods as comfort, or
for me, it wasn't, I mean, I love pizza and everything like that, but I mean, for me, I think the main thing for, you know, weight loss and keeping myself on track was like, I really just had to like believe in myself again. I don't really have like a main trigger. Like, I love wine. I think we all love wine to an extent. I would drink a lot of it during the week. Now I try not to have alcohol at all during the week. You know, and the main thing was moving, getting up and exercising. I try to do an exercise in the morning. Sometimes I do it in the afternoon as well. I think I would just overeat. Like, I would eat like a whole pizza, like a small pizza. And I just didn't think about it. Like, and I say it to my mom and my dad sometimes. I'm like, how can you guys eat 4 pieces of pizza? Like, big pieces of pizza. I don't understand it. Like, I can barely eat 2 now. You know what I mean? Like, but people don't think about that. And you don't realize it until you try to change it.
Mm-hmm. It's training those habits, and we train ourselves into those habits. And then it's a matter of kind of like breaking the mold and having to train ourselves back out of those habits. You know, when people, you know, this end of the year, like graduation parties and this and that, and it's wedding season, and, you know, you go to a baby shower or wedding shower, and people eating cake and cookies and if they offer it to you and you feel guilty for saying no, you have to stop back and analyze that. Like, why do I feel guilty for saying no? If I say no to that piece of cake, I'm not crushing their spirits. It's just, I'm deciding that this is not something that I'm going to have right now. And I'm saying yes to my health and my future and my transformation. Saying yes to the piece of cake is not going to change anything. Saying no helps you to establish that routine that leads to the transformation. When people say they don't eat vegetables, people take that as totally socially acceptable now, right? Oh, I don't eat Brussels sprouts. I don't eat vegetables. And people are like, oh yeah, I don't either. But when you say you don't drink soda or you don't eat cake, they like freak out. So, you know, it's a battle. It's a mental shift. Misha says, I've said no to pizza, cake, donuts, and Chipotle within the last 3 days. That's huge for her. That is.
I think that, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I'm seeing these notes come up here. I think the main thing for me is I don't refuse, like for pizza, I don't refuse it. Like, I make an alternative option for it. Like, pizza night, and sometimes I'll have like 2 slices of pizza. I think sometimes you have to, I don't cut everything out, because if you cut everything out, that's when you overeat it. Mm-hmm. Like, I make, you know, like, I will bring over, like, I'll make pizza on wheat bread, like a wheat Joseph wrap, or naan bread. I've been doing that now too. And I like that. I mean, to me, it's still, you know, I use the cups, I measure everything out. I don't eliminate things from my diet. Mm-hmm. It's just in moderation. It's about, you know, just not overeat. For me, it's about not overeating.
Yeah.
And when I'm full. I also don't drink coffee anymore. I haven't had coffee in over a year. So I think that was a huge thing for me. I loved coffee. I drink it with the caramel and pumpkin swirl in it and loved it. And then I was like, wait a minute, this is like having 3 teaspoons of sugar. Like, what am I doing? Yeah. And I didn't even put sugar in it. I just ate it with I just drank it with a sweetener. I kicked that. The Shakeology's been great for me with that. I don't even need it anymore.
I'm going to jump in too, if you don't mind, Sarah.
Go ahead, please.
I was just at a conference for like 4 days in Albany, and every single day, like, it blew my mind, the unhealthy stuff that people ate, the whole time I was there. And like, every single meal that they offered us had dessert with it. Every single meal. And it was like, I mean, like 3 meals a day. It was crazy. And I can't eat dairy and meat, like, just because of medical reasons. And so I couldn't eat any of the dessert. That I could not eat the dessert. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, this is great because I can say no because I couldn't eat it. Mm-hmm. But then, like, the one night, the waiter was like so concerned about this that he was like, literally ran to the kitchen probably 3 times to find a dessert that I could eat. And he finally did. He like found a sorbet I could have, and I felt guilty for saying no because I really didn't want that dessert. But I did end up actually eating it because I just like, he ran to the kitchen 3 times and I was like, all right, fine, I'll eat the sorbet. Like that's probably not the worst thing I could eat, but and I hadn't had a single other dessert other than like fruit. But yeah, it's this like mentality that like you have to have, I mean, we have like an appetizer, a dinner, and a dessert at every single meal. And it's a lot of food, like the amount of food, and there's just the expectation that like you have to have a dessert at every meal just kind of blew my mind like while I was there. But that really is our society right now.
Yeah. Now, I would like to hear from Becky and Misha because they have just pounded out the 3-day refresh. And I want to hear about your, 3-day refresh. 3 days is not a long time, but it is a huge mental shift. And for somebody who maybe hasn't done the 3-day refresh, or, if you've done it before, what kind of changes did you see if you've done it before? And what kind of, Misha, was this your first time? Yes. Okay. I'm going to unmute you. Okay. Misha, let's hear from you about how you felt about doing the 3-day refresh.
It was hard. Like today is still day 3 for me. My whole thing is timing. I've been very busy. This is really a bad weekend for me to try it, but I made do. And it's still those late at night cravings that I have. The first night I was able to avoid it. The last night I had an extra couple of pieces of watermelon. But I feel like that was still good. The fiber sweet didn't taste as bad as that vanilla shake. Oh my God, that's awful. So will I try it again? I don't know, but I feel different. I feel like my GI system has really emptied out, and I feel good. I can tell a little bit in my neck as well. Feel different.
Yeah. Becky, how about you? This was you've done it more than once, right?
Yeah, this was, I think, my 3rd or 4th time. I think maybe even my 4th time. And I did the same thing, Misha. I said I was never up. I was like, man, I'm not sure I'm going to do it again after the first one because I really did vanilla refresh. I don't like vanilla Shakeology, except I love the new vegan. So there you go for that. I don't like regular vanilla Shakeology, and this is like even like the overnight recovery formula. I can't do it. Anyway, point being, it was much, I don't know, for us yesterday, or it was, and there's lots of stuff going on. So this was definitely a difficult weekend. I normally do it during the weekday. So that if you have if you're a working mom or whatever, working person, do it during the week because your brain is much more occupied and you think less about the fact that you can't eat anything. So like this weekend was really challenging. And like yesterday I was out shopping. I had to like pack my stuff to my fiber sweep. And the tip with the fiber sweep is don't ever mix it with 8 ounces ever. Do it with like 4 and make sure it's ice cold because then it won't coagulate as quickly. And if you don't know what fiber sweep is, it's basically just like a gentle like chia based cleanse that helps move things along, not in the disgusting way. So there you go. That's all I'll give you. But I think for me, the challenge was being able to do it over the weekend. And I mean, it's been difficult. We chose to not go out with faculty yesterday after graduation because I knew that if I went to a vineyard, I was going to want to drink some wine. And it just didn't make sense with me doing this. And I really wanted to make sure that I got the best results. So it's the end of day 3. I have had my last meal and I'm ready to eat like normal I've got my portion fix stuff all ready for tomorrow. So anyway, it's been good. It's been, every time I do it, it gets a little easier. So.
Awesome. Thank you. Now, Liz, I would like to call on you because if I remember correctly, when you first signed up, Ashley was like, Elizabeth is awesome. She's just really quiet and like doesn't really want to like do much on her social media. So like, I want to hear from you about where you feel like that shift was, where your transition was and transformation in terms of like just going from being pretty quiet there to really being excited about sharing on some of your social media.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I used to post about just like normal stuff every so often. I worked for a police department before I got into all the Beachbody stuff, and then I quit, and so it was like grinded into me that you don't put anything on social media ever. And then I was like, you know what? After I kind of got into this, is like, I don't really care anymore. And I feel so much better about it. And I find that the more I share, the more I find out that other people are dealing with the same things that I am too. Especially like the arthritis, my ankle, and like in August when I got my closed head wound, when I got the really bad concussion, and I started talking about that, that was super helpful, and people were like commenting on posts about it that helped me. And now, so like I found like a good responses from that, and I don't know, it now I feel fine about posting all sorts of things, especially like what I'm eating, especially because a lot of people will be like, oh, what is that? And how is that a clean eating meal? And I'm like, hey, this is good for you. And I'll share my recipes. And I feel like I'm helping a lot of people just discover that you can eat really clean and cook your own food, and it's really not that hard. So it was probably about my third challenge with Ashley that I started feeling like I could really open up about what I was doing fitness wise. And that was kind of a big step because I always felt like I was in shape and doing okay, and then I realized that I really wasn't. So sharing that and kind of being vulnerable and open has been kind of life-changing for me, and it has built my confidence too. So sharing my struggles has built my confidence within like myself. So I don't know if that was kind of what you're looking for.
Oh, I muted her. I hope she was done. Oh, did you have something else to say?
No, I can go back to it later.
Okay. Martha, hello. How's my beautiful mind transformation, lady? Because that really, when I need a mental shift, Martha's my girl. And, she's been here pretty much kind of since day one that I've been doing this, just, maybe 2 months in or so. And so we've been at this for about 2.5 years, and really, Martha had a good physical transformation. She doesn't share her like before and after super often, but like it's when she does, it's still powerful because you see that like, oh wow, she really, like, people I think get used to seeing us as we are now. And it just, if there's one thing about posting as a coach, I think that just to remind yourself that you do have to post those transformations on a more regular basis than you do. Like if you're posting them less than once a week, it's not enough, because people who are new to following you are not seeing that transformation. They don't know where you were 3 years ago. And so the one thing that I do on almost a weekly basis now is I'll use one of my photos that pops up in my timeline, my on this day, and I'm saving those all the time to put into a before and after, because it's a good reminder for me too. Like I need to see that on a regular basis and not just using that one like before photo. It's good to see befores in different situations. So Martha, if you would like to close us out with some thoughts on, physical or mental transformation and what that means as a coach and for our challengers.
Thank you. I hope my dishwasher isn't too loud. Is it okay? Can you hear me? Okay. So yeah, I don't do a good job of sharing my before and afters from a long time ago, but that's because I actually don't have very many pictures from like my college years. I worked a lot and did a lot of schoolwork and don't really have a lot to document in pictures for that. So I feel like people get tired of seeing the same picture over and over, but we know that people don't always see the same things all the time. But I think that you're right. I think that a lot of the times people just like get used to seeing us the way they are, and that's really hard for me because I'm young as well, and so I relate to people who are older than me because I guess I kind of have that spirit about me, and so I need to make sure that I share. A lot of the times it's a mental change. Where I came from was an emotional eater. I ate for comfort. And so a lot of what I share about is that. And you all know that that's based on your emotions for sure, which is your mental shift. And so I try and share as much as I can about how my thoughts were. Sorry, this is a really bad angle. How my thoughts used to be and how they are now as a way to do before and afters. It's a transformation from that. So I talk a lot about stuff that I'm inspired by from my personal development and books that I'm reading and podcasts that I'm listening to, because I don't think that people get enough of that anymore. People don't listen to self-help stuff. They don't look for inspiration anymore. We just kind of get numbed by social media or TV, and we forget that we have to take care of ourselves. So I try and share that as much as I can so that people know that that's important, if not the most important part of a transformation, because that's what's going to give you longevity, is taking care of where you are mentally. And that has to be constant because we're constantly changing, right? So I noticed and I have not been good lately about my personal development as much. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts but not reading as much, but I can tell just in my mindset of doing my business, working with my challenge groups, that I just don't have that same oomph, and that's because personal development has to be constant. So share that transformation too, because I know that we've all grown from that. And then the other part of my transformation is about community, which I hopped on late, but I think that a lot of us connect because we come from a place of not really knowing where we belong, wherever we were in our lives. And this whole thing is a transformation in of itself, just to find friendships that are long lasting and that can work through hard things and that can celebrate amazing things together. That's super cool and something that a lot of people probably can connect to and be transformed by in that way.
Absolutely. Does anybody else have any closing thoughts? You can unmute yourself and pop in. Becky, I don't know if you had something else you wanted to share about transformation. I know I just asked you to share about the 3-day refresh, but if there was anything else that you had in mind, go ahead.
Ditto to everything Martha said. That's all.
She usually nails it on the head pretty quickly. She's brief, to the point. It really is. It's very much the personal and professional development is something that plays a big part in this. And people can do fitness programs anywhere they want to. There are so many different options, and one of the things that we have available to us is a system that teaches us fitness, nutrition, and personal development, and brings us together in a community that fills so many of those holes that, like Martha said, we all kind of had that. There was something missing, and I didn't even know something was missing until it fell in my lap. So you know, I have to thank you guys for being a part of this journey. This is actually exactly my 2-year diamond anniversary with Beachbody. So that's fun. And it just is so exciting to still be here and just commit to that continued health and reaching more people every year. And there are a lot of people out there that we haven't touched yet, and so let us go forth. And you know what, if you're in the middle of conversations with people and they haven't necessarily gotten back with you about Sean Week, about joining us for Sean Week, don't hesitate about getting them in still, even if it's a day or two late, because they will have access to those 7 workouts for the full 14-day trial. So I've gotten, I think, 5 different people up and started just today, and just get them in, get them going, get them, you know, loving what we have, and we move from there. So Misha, enjoy your last 3-day refresh meal that you look like cooking up there. Either that or doing some prep. And everybody have a great week. It has been so great to get together with you this evening, and I will post the call as well. So have a great night, everyone.
Sarah.
Yes.
Quick question. So with the workouts, how are those going to be posted?
I think they'll probably go up as like the challenge du jour is my guess. And then they'll go into his, like when you go to challenges, like by trainer, they'll probably be listed there afterwards. So they'll continue to be available after this week.
Okay. I was just trying to figure out, like, how would you find them tomorrow? So you go to challenge.
I think so. I think it'll be pretty front and center when you log into the on-demand. So.
Okay.
Everybody has access to everything now. There's no digital unlocks or anything. Yep, Liz. Oop, I can't hear her. What was that?
It doesn't list the Shaun T on the challenge of the day for this week, so I think it might just be posted tomorrow at some point.
Okay. I would assume that it's going to go up pretty
in the Beachbody. Yeah, because they have like the weekly email at the workout breakdowns for this week. They didn't have